Example number 3. How foreign does an antigen need to be in order to be recognized? Okay, so what does that mean, how foreign? Well, it has to be foreign enough, right? But the key word is enough. Now, it's relative, isn't it? Because what we know, for instance, say if indeed you want to get, you need a transplanted organ, for instance. Say you need, you've been suffering from diabetes, unfortunately, and the kidneys have gradually deteriorated over time because of that. And at some point, you need a kidney transplant. So, what do they do? Who do they look for? And why? Okay, so here's the question. What is the big issue about getting a transplanted organ? The big issue is you don't want rejection. You don't want the immune system to recognize that organ as being foreign. So often what happens when you require a transplanted organ is that the first thing that happens is they look at the relatives of the individual who needs the transplant. Why? Because the relatives are very genetically similar to the recipient, and the more similar you are in terms of that transplanted organ, the less likely you're going to have tumor rejection. So basically, with this transplantation, what you're trying to do is you're trying to find an organ that is not foreign from the human body. But foreignness can also indicate, is the tissue or is the pathogen or is the antigen non-human? Is it from a different species? Now, the other thing we know is that it's easier, let me make sure that's spelled, easier for the immune system easier, let's put that in quotes, easier for the immune system to recognize a eukaryote. What is a eukaryote? Well, a eukaryote is a cell with a nucleus, right? And isn't the human, oh gosh, here I am. I'm even missing my own question. Actually, it's easier for the immune system to recognize a prokaryote. Okay. And why? Because a prokaryote is a cell that does not have a nucleus. What is the number one prokaryote pathogen? Prokaryotic pathogen, it's bacteria. Okay, so it's easier for the immune system to recognize a cell that is not a eukaryotic cell. It is more difficult, let's put that in quotes, for the immune system to recognize, it is more difficult for the immune system to recognize a eukaryote. What are some eukaryotes that the immune system has a difficulty recognizing? Fungi, helminths, and the third kind is the protozoa. Now, there are lectures for each one of those organisms, so I highly recommend you refer to those lectures to get a better handle on how the immune system recognizes those organisms. So, in relationship to answer, how foreign does the antigen need to be recognized? It needs to be foreign enough. And this whole lecture, at least is in relationship to antibodies and antigens, is really devoted to that particular question. So that ends our lecture for the day. Thank you so much for visiting Educator.com.